Post-traumatic stress disorder happens to civilians as well as soldiers. Hazel Hart is with us again to read about how PTSD manifested in Kendra after the FBI raid on her family's home in the Survivalist Daughter.
In the scene I'm going to be reading today from the Survivalist Daughter, I'm focusing on Kendra and her reactions to a school lockdown drill. This is actually her first year to ever be in a regular public school. She's been homeschooled up until now and has been away from most of the things that one expects to do in a public school. We hadn't gone more than a dozen steps down the hall when the intercom crackled and a tinny voice announced, "This is a lockdown drill. Go to the nearest classroom and take cover." The intercom voice sounded so much like the bullhorn that day on the mountain that I froze. The tinny voice came again. "This is a lockdown drill. Clear the common areas immediately. Go to the nearest classroom and take cover." There was a mad scramble around me as students pushed by, disappearing into doorways, and I stood like a statue in their way. "Kendra," Matt was shaking my shoulder. "Come on, we'll go back to the history classroom." The intercom voice came again, but instead of the lockdown instructions, I was hearing the FBI agents on the bullhorn ordering Dad to surrender. I started gasping. Matt grabbed my waist and pulled me along with him. The hallway was empty except for one or two students ahead of us. Matt guided me into the history classroom and Mr. Bowles locked the door. Beneath the windows, students were hunkered down on the floor, so anyone outside the school would not see them. Matt steered me to a place against the wall at the end of the room. I tried to even out my breath. This was a drill. There was nothing to be afraid of. I let out a long, slow breath and focused on Matt beside me. Then some students, about halfway down the wall, started laughing, and Mr. Bowles picked up a chair and slammed it on the floor. "You just told the gunman where we are." He slammed the chair again. "You just got us killed." The sound of the chair hitting the floor echoed like gunshots through my mind. I clasped my hands over my ears and pressed my elbows together. I screamed, "No, stop," as the television images of Mom being shot came flooding back. I saw her twisting and falling and blood spreading across her dress and her body lifeless on the ground while a photographer took pictures. "Stop," I screamed. "Just stop." Mr. Bowles knelt beside me, his face white. "This is a drill. You're not in danger." I was making a point. "Looks like you made it," a boy's voice came from somewhere behind the teacher. The teacher's jaw hardened. "This drill isn't over until we're given an all clear. Get back in position and be quiet." The sharpness in his voice sent a shiver through me, and I clamped my hands even tighter against my ears. Mr. Bowles turned his attention back to me and Matt. "Do you know what's wrong with her?" he asked Matt. Matt shook his head. "I think it was the noise. It made her think of something, maybe an accident." "Maybe," Mr. Bowles said. He gripped my forearm and leaned in close. He spoke evenly. "Stay still. This will be over soon, and I'll have a nurse check you out." I jerked out of his grasp. Through a fog of tears, I saw an FBI agent holding me back while Michael was carried away, screaming at the top of his lungs. "No," I screamed and swung a fist at him. "You can't take my brother." "Whoa," Mr. Bowles exclaimed as he dodged the blow. Matt circled his arms around me from behind. "That's our teacher," he said, his mouth against my ear, almost whispering to me. "Your brother isn't here. We're in school," he repeated. "It's just a drill. Everything is okay." I held on to his voice, the feel of his breath against my ear, and fought to see what he saw. The classroom around me, everyone staring. Embarrassed, I squeezed my eyes shut.